Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhardt here, LMP and Lancaster Online, and welcome into the Week 9 edition of the LL Football Roundtable, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. Here we are in beautiful Annville, home of the Dutchman. Annville-Cleona, huge game this week, LL League Section 5. They are tied for first place with Schuylkill Valley. Winner here on Friday night takes over sole possession of first place with one game to play. Winner here Friday, driver's seat to win the section championship. So a big game here Friday, so we wanted to come to Annville and talk all things Dutchman. Let's bring him in. He's the running back. He's the speed back. He's coming off a couple of really good games. He's Cale Harder. How are you doing, Cale?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for having us today.
Yep.
Here we are in Annville. You guys are playing great. Last 4 or 5 weeks, you're sailing.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on since the Littlestown game?
Yeah.
Because that's the last team that got you, and all of a sudden you guys kind of found it. So what's going on the last month here?
I mean, honestly, Littlestown surprised us a little bit, and then ever since then, the word in the locker room has been energy. So we've just been doing nothing really different, just keeping our energy high and just believing in ourselves and working as a team pretty much.
Huge win last week, Lancaster Catholic, section champs. How big was that win? Kind of break that game down for us, just to beat them on their field, I think. How huge was that? And are you hoping to use that into this week?
Mm-hmm. It was a huge game for us. I mean, Coach been saying probably one of the biggest wins in school history, not beating them for like 7 years straight. Just going in that game with confidence, knowing that we can do it. You just got to play by play. That's the mojo in the house. Yeah, everyone played great. Line, big game. We ran the same play like every single time, so that was good for us. Ground and pound is what we call it here. The line has just been unbelievable. I mean, it pretty much starts up front with them, so any little seam we can get, we're going to take advantage of it and try and make the most of it.
I think as a team we've come together and found our identity, and we just kind of were taking things for granted, and now that the clock's ticking down late in the season, especially the seniors, they feel it, their time's running out, and everybody's trying to get it together, get it in shape. We're trying to make our last season special.
Give us a little Schuylkill Valley breakdown, preview, and what kind of game you're expecting Friday.
Yeah, so I'm expecting the secondary to be tested a lot. Obviously, we know what they can do in the pass game. I think they have that quarterback that's been pretty remarkable this year. Up front, we just the line got to block, and hopefully we can ground and pound again, stick with the game plan. D-line, hopefully they can get a rush up front and stop whatever's coming.
I think last year we kind of caught them by surprise. They didn't really think that we were going to come out and play because there wasn't much we could play for in terms of the section lead last year. But this year they know that there's a lot to play for, and I think it's going to be a tough matchup because, they want it, we want it, we both want it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a good game to watch. It's going to be a good game to play, and I'm going to love every moment of it.
And we're back from Annville-Cleona in the studio for the latest edition of the LL Football Roundtable. I'm Mike Gross, and I host. Jason Parente and Jeff Reinhardt are here to talk about what just happened in Lancaster 11 League football, what's likely to happen next, and Annville-Cleona central to that discussion this week. So thanks to those folks for allowing the Rhines and Tyler to hang with them.
Yes.
And we'll start with the one really big game on this week's schedule. This is sort of a placeholder week, I think, leading into week 10, which is a big and decisive week. But there is one big one in Section 5, and it's Schuylkill Valley and Annville-Cleona. Jason, we don't know anything about either of these teams, so naturally I turn to you.
Schuylkill Valley, Bruce Harbach's the coach.
Oh, yeah.
Lancaster Catholic state championship coach. Not a lot of people go to Leesport to win championships, right? But he did in the twilight of his career, and he's turned them into a contender. Yeah. 7 wins in a row since the first game against Twin Valley, but the heart of their schedule is these last 2 games at Annville, and then they have Catholic in that big game to end the season, so we'll see sort of where they fit into that section. But Catholic will be watching this because they need a Schuylkill Valley win to get a piece of the section title, or at least have a chance for it.
Jason, during your remarks, I thought of about 6 related potential Leesport jokes, of which I will share none of them with you. But Ryan,
like Leesport. There's a good diner in Leesport.
Oh yeah,
come on.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Rhines, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, we were at Annville this week, and their running game has been great.
wow.
No
Cale
question.
Harder's been awesome.
Yeah.
200 yards last week and 4 touchdowns. Cameron Conley, got to mention him, the quarterback. He has really come on, really with the pitch plays and the reads. He had a 200-yard rushing night. He's been really good. Bryce Keller's been good running the ball. What have they won? 5 in a row?
5 in a row.
Here since
Yeah, they
Littlestown?
started slow and now they're rolling, and
They are rolling.
running the heck out of it. Yeah,
They absolutely are. So, contrasting styles a little bit. Annville's going to run the ball 60 times. Schuylkill Valley's kind of going up top. That Dominic Jaffray kid, 1,500-yard rusher last year, has a broken wrist. So he's missed like 5 or 6
yeah,
weeks
I
here.
remember him, yeah.
He hasn't played. So they've gone up top. Cohen Gerner, 190 receiving yards last week. He's coming up on 1,000 receiving yards for them. So Schuylkill Valley's going to go up top. They're going to throw the ball and wing it around a little bit, and then they got to jump on D and try to tackle
Maybe it
Annville.
says something about Harbaugh that he's able to make that adjustment.
On the fly.
Yeah, on the
Lose
fly, right.
1,500-yard rusher, but now you have 1,500-yard passer with a really good wideout. So that'll be a nice contrasting style, and it's supposed to rain Friday night. So I don't know if you can throw the ball in the rain or run the ball in the rain. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I
Helps
think
the
you
Veer
can.
team, you
I
would
think you
think.
can. I think sometimes people think that necessarily holds down the offenses, and I don't think I don't necessarily think
Probably
it does.
not. It is grass at Annville. See if that makes a difference, if it's slick. But yeah, winner gets sole possession of first with 1 to play. Good game.
Let's take a little bit of a look at district playoffs, because we are getting to the point where you can sort of see the scenarios play out. We have a couple of number 1 seeds here. Double A is Annville-Cleona. Wyomissing in 3A.
Still, yep.
And of course, Manheim Township, which has been dominant all year and has maybe had one of the best regular seasons in the history of our league, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's a debate, but you know. But there's a couple of teams on the bubble that are kind of interesting to me. One of them is Solanco, which has not had a real good year. I'm sure they would tell you they haven't had a good year.
Yeah.
But they got a
Overall.
chance, and only partly because it's 5A and a million teams get in. But
Yeah, they're young too. And now I'm starting to hear the chatter around,
Look out for
making the
them
rounds.
next year.
Watch out for Solanco. Johnny Garcia, let's mention him. 1,200-yard rusher, 200 rushing yard 200 plus rushing yards last week. I think for the second time in 3 games, he had 200 plus. Solanco's doing things. They're making everybody earn it. They took Twin Valley to the wire. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of 5As in our league, a lot of 5As in District 3, so a gigantic field. But it looks like we're going to have at least 3 teams in. Ephrata and CV are probably going to make it, right?
And also Solanco, you say, well, who cares if you get in as the 12? Well, we saw last year, Cocalico got in as the 12 and won the whole thing, and same kind of
Yeah, that's
difficult
right.
to defend option offense. No one's going to want to see that in the first round or even in the quarterfinals.
That's a good point. And I think
Correct.
most people would say Cocalico is probably the favorite in that class, but they're only seeded 3rd. I think is
They're
it New
3.
Oxford?
Yeah, New Oxford's ahead of them. Maybe
Yeah.
Cedar Cliff maybe might be ahead of them. And hey, Exeter's 8-0, by the way. And Exeter's got 2 monster games here.
Interesting team, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
last year was their dream team.
Oh, they were great.
And it looked like they could win a state title, and then they get stunned by Cocalico. And now they're back with this whole new cast of characters, and nobody was really talking about them at that level. And
8-0, baby.
they're right there.
Yeah, I think we
district
slept on
contender.
them a little bit. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I figured they'd get to week 10 one way or another for the Central game. And here they are. I mean, their defense has been good, and they're these new offensive kids.
they just
that
have good
play
athletes at that school right now.
do.
They're really on a roll. Berks County's on a roll.
overall. Sure.
You know, it's crazy. Yeah. So another team that I was kind of a interesting situation for districts is in 6A is the Falcons, Cedar
Yep,
Crest. They're 7th. 8 get in. And they have what to me is a scary spot on the schedule this
Agreed.
week because Hempfield.
Agreed.
Hempfield is going, they've been scoring a little bit lately.
Yes.
It's hard for me to believe they're going to go this quietly into basketball
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
But I think that's a tough spot. But Cedar Crest might get in even if they lose that game, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at what's behind them.
Yeah, they should have a good power rating because of their schedule.
They should, yeah, but they're 7th.
Yeah, and they're 7. Yeah, they get Lebanon next week. But this Hempfield game,
The teams that are immediately below them. Cumberland Valley still has to play State College.
Ooh.
Chambersburg still has to play Harrisburg and State College.
Ooh.
So they're, in that sense, they might be in pretty good shape.
Yes.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
Where are
guys?
we going?
Where are we going?
I'm going to Denver to see Cocalico and Berks Catholic.
Nice. Sticking close to home, CV, going to Whitmer. Buckskins, Exeter, my first look at both of them. Anxious to see the Eagles live.
It looked like you almost forgot about where you're going.
I had to
Ryan.
think
And
about
was
it
your
for
alma
5
mater.
seconds. I know. 10-minute drive to the game on Friday night.
All
And
right,
you're
well,
going to Ohio.
I'm going to Ohio. Yeah, I will be traveling on Friday and headed to the big Penn State, Ohio State matchup. So, gang, that's about it. Next week, we'll have a lot to talk
Loaded.
about.
Loaded.
Week 10, districts, section titles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get to all that then. But for now, this has been the LL Football Roundtable, brought to you by Auto House of Lancaster. For Jason Barrente and Jeff Reinhardt, I'm Mike Gross. See ya.